In the background of it, it's in the, the.
Oh, y'all didn't make something like that in school, or?
She's in
Huh? Y'all didn't
Delta.
make something like that in school?
Delta. DG.
All together, how many years apart, but. No way. You know, I saw your profile picture, like.
Well, like strictly don't matter.
Like,
I mean,
twice.
You know,
stories don't matter.
Please. Cause you know my profile picture, that's for my graduation.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of.
The background for the
Because-
freaking extra tree.
Yeah, I recognize the.
Once you got SC3, you're shooting that stuff.
And it's for, what was you guys the color?
No, that's state.
I was like, sanity. I even did was share this, yeah, or I just learned.
So you didn't, you probably didn't go to our try to.
It's looking me.
I only went to, I only went to your, it's not something that he's like, that would happen to you, just to. Yeah, I guess so.
I think my graduation.
From my grandfather the first time. Also, it's true. I got him. We're like
Restart now. If you want to, yeah.
Yeah, I have to ask.
Yeah.
Like, today, Thursday, Friday, Tuesday,
We can't have one, like.
So I can tell what kind of games are out, so you should play out of the circle, so it's Good Friday.
How was it? Others.
I went to college.
I probably won't be going, I'll probably just go be going to bed early, so wake up now.
No, my junior year is a sophomore.
I need to work.
Are we doing that right now?
To let me. No, like, if I don't.
I was, did you go?
What is she saying? Upward.
Yeah, upward, outward, like inward direction.
What does that mean?
Just let me know if you were.
What kind of check?
Yeah.
Well, you think that it's the high pressure wants to go to low pressure, right? So it's like
That TV show.
out
Yeah.
and then back in, and then speed down. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. How's everybody doing?
How are you?
A little tired. Today might be a movie day for real.
No,
Okay, well, stuff like that.
I was here till like 10 p.m. last night, so
Why?
I had to do a maintenance flight.
Awesome.
Happened to.
Somebody else. But
Get to the next time.
You went to bed at 9? Good. And then as soon as I got off,
I got you.
I got home, got in bed, and I like turned my light off and I laid down, and then I was like, I forgot I told my buddy I would go let his dog out because his flight got delayed, so I had to go drive all the way to his house and let the dog
You were
out.
already in bed.
I was already in bed.
That's tough.
Yeah.
I would have just went to his house with the dog.
Dude, let me tell you.
That's what we're on.
I don't
like that.
Oh,
You guys are weird.
dude.
I haven't.
Such a.
I have innocent thoughts, these people though. Oh man.
You know he likes his French fries from In-N-Out animal style.
No, it's moderate to influence. And he wants to. Okay, so for you, it's unfortunate this year, right?
Sorry.
Like they do like polygraph test every 5 years. They did a polygraph test to the janitor. They asked him about BCL and he's like, what is that? They're like, oh.
I know everybody says 6 hours, before and.
And then this guy committed to like.
What's the last?
Yeah, he said when he was like.
So 6'4".
This guy was a janitor.
So from less severe 6 hours, a little more severe 4 hours, and then.
That is 6 hours, so it's for. Not sure. Yes, that is 2 hours.
Think of the meat tar like they ate it. They update the ATIS every 30 minutes. Yeah. They usually update it 50 minutes past the hour, every hour. So like if
So
you're
what's 30?
On the horse. And then he died.
Nothing.
Yeah.
You know.
Why they found out the trick us. Well, that was, well, right.
Probably not.
I heard about all one.
Yeah. We're just.
Right. What? Take your test, bro, school time. What are your school choice?
Are all these questions repeating?
Well, if it's a review, then it could repeat because it's from the.
All of
Well, I mean,
I just want to-
that's what review means. Like it's from.
So, yeah.
They didn't care.
Duh.
No, but you know.
Yeah, this week is week 5, so it should review everything for the first 4 weeks.
Different questions,
Okay.
just like, okay.
Yeah, I don't
But
make
you know
the test.
the rule for no cross. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You go to heal.
Does your job pop every time you?
Well, up.
Yeah, my job pop every time.
You can do anything else. The next issue.
Are you graduating feedback night? That's crazy. I also don't notice anymore.
Yes, sir.
100%. That's crazy.
What are your rounds?
The taxes one. Okay, so that's the last one I'm on right now. Yeah, I wanna know.
Which word is on here?
That's trans. Yep, and it's advection.
Is it? Yeah, it's close.
It's advection.
Close to the ocean.
The only reason why I know that is because my instructor told me,
Arrow.
and that's where you come from.
Yeah.
So arrows, airworthiness.
Boom, yes.
Airworthiness.
Alright, so boom. What can you do is. Oh, no, I just. I remember this one has teeth on, that's amazing. You're okay, I'm gonna call you.
Remember the answer being KO, yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
We don't have, any.
Okay, take off, that's exactly, okay, that's it.
2000.
You were right, but in this context, I don't think it's referring to.
Oh, okay, so it's maybe kids mean something else, so.
Yeah, if it's paired with like KOEL and stuff like that, minimum equipment list.
Oh, okay.
I've never done turn trains.
You see.
Is it at any point in a heater radius?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, so the way that helps me remember that is, as you're talking about ground reference maneuvers, is that the green river downwind is like, it's minute pushing up. So you always want to start with it to 90. Yeah.
Can I see them pilot accept that Austin?
Just watch.
No, I like those prepared.
Nice. Do you see?
We don't run.
Twelve thousand eight hundred pigs. Sure. Or it's like this.
Sure, if you're not sure. Let's get probably help me.
With water to. You know what it's been here, we'll see.
Oh, that's MEL is minimum equipment list, and then the other one you said it's
Oh.
kinds of operation. Yeah, and for the sling, it's kinds of operation equipment. Yeah,
Which is. When. Follow is not.
oh, the AirPods Pro 3 cannot take anybody use it.
Which.
What actually, the AirPods Pro 3, I'm not against, but I'm really going to. Get the Pro 3 and see how it is. What?
They still like this one.
50,000 pesos.
My parents died, I got.
They survived the washing machine.
18 now.
That's.
And it wasn't Apple?
No.
Let me see.
I bet it's actually.
Was the charger also in the washing machine?
The I was like, wait, so why? Dryer. And I was like,
So it was in the dryer for like.
Okay.
Years.
maybe like 10 minutes.
I think we should have said that. It said. So.
Oh, pretty good, although according to everybody it's cold, I think they're like terrible. Do you guys remember what neighbor, but? I just know what it is. It's like. That thing of foresight, where it's like, it's not sexual charge, but it's like, has to be all information. Oh. Makes sense. Yeah, that's how it is. It's like the specific, requirement. Yeah.
So what did you?
What? Thank you.
Yeah.
And I got, so.
She got it wrong.
Sure, we slammed her personal thing. Well, I know.
Okay, so first one's on. I wanna help you, I want you to remember it, like, drink it. So here goes, goes on a point to 10 ton. When's the best time to answer?
Where's the one?
Right, exactly, so when would you wanna answer it? Yes. Perfect.
Oh, 12,000 MSL. Interesting.
In my chemistry, physics, calculus.
What?
Can I do it? I understand it. In my life.
So long. That's what I want you guys.
Maybe you're getting.
It's not very good.
It's not very good.
So you're really good. Why the other good? And then go into a bank.
I was
All
thinking.
interesting.
And I flew on Tuesday, but I had a short trip. And then. I was there.
Wait, so when you cut it short, you had like 0.5 then?
9.
0.9, okay.
Yeah, but yesterday I was just watching the clouds moving, I was like. And then today I was standing like that.
I look, when you first got here, yeah, I'm on the might be challenged. Well, I never noticed it.
Yeah, mine too. Mine just means that means that.
Where? Up here? Right. The same thing. Oh, down there, right?
I was gonna explain to this is very hard and I still don't really know. I know.
You need to. I do.
So lady, I can't fuck down there.
The way you say I quote you for a reason.
And then, yeah.
You see that?
Sometimes.
You say you'll get twice in the handicap spot, you know, you like sit out like somebody handicapped actually come to they'll be like, hey, you can't fuck this. And ask me if you're handicapped, I know which so that's it. I miss when you could joke like
Could we
that.
think it, no, I didn't make reference to the actual.
Who cares?
Imagine.
That's the mentality that got you kicked out of university.
I think you kicked out of that band.
That's respect. That's respect there.
It's like, yeah, sure, ready? Absolutely. Okay.
You really?
I can appeal it on 21.
You got this, fam.
Thanks, Owen. Thanks a lot. No, it's not. Yes, I want to do some report.
Jeff, have you ever seen that?
I know that. It's on because they.
Yeah, I broke up this one.
Those problems. Journey don't stop.
Is it title?
So I wanna get a woman's part of Oregon.
That's like.
I think it's the last of this.
So I go to Oregon, I go to like give morning.
Yeah, that. Yeah, we just.
Yeah.
Should have.
That's why like.
How's it going?
Chill. I got it.
So step the carbon installed, the pilot, neutral in one. Yeah.
What point did you miss? Hey, PPL. Better not to fit.
Something was saying.
So, yeah, whatever.
Yes, I
So, Charmaine, for your written test, have you looked up the questions that you asked, like as in the code or?
No, that's what I need to.
Okay.
That's the need for it. I should put that on my list. Before.
Yeah, cause it's guaranteed to be asked.
I just wanted to.
Let's see.
And for those written exam questions you missed, it's required that you get an endorsement from your instructor, so your instructor will sit down with you and go over the stuff too.
Oh, okay,
Oh.
I would still do it on your own, but
right. Make sure you know it before your instructor comes to you about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
makes their life easier, your life easier.
Wait, that's not a lot of sleep for sure.
Yeah.
You just do.
You know, sleep two beds for 11 hours now, this is for you.
Power, iPhone.
And I've worked,
So he's power.
so on a good night, they like.
Where do you work?
The York field.
What's the iPhone? There's
No,
not
I-
VA.
It's a free pair, not like
Oh,
you and your wife
like
thing.
That's why.
Any languages like yeah. Other opposites.
The one you see your wife probably.
Elevator. He's elevator. Yeah, the base.
It's my problem, you have to one.
So I need to.
Would you do that after the leave?
After he stops spending.
Okay, good.
Like.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, like, if we all have all that, we can all.
You're like kind of fascinated by it.
That's really.
You ever play cribbage?
Fireworks.
Cribbage is so fun.
She's so cute.
Have you seen those on a tiny
You guys
house?
wanna play this?
Yeah, like they have like the red flags on it. It's bigger than. Cause they were.
These are little kids that you can just outside your property.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And like this is. This is footprint is.
They're
10 foot.
Oh, it has a ladder too.
Yeah, so you got a lot of like stairs that's like.
She's weird, she's like 9 meters.
So, like, they. Kitchen going on.
I guess. Another favorite book. What's that?
Wondering if you could get a fire.
Okay, so does anybody have playing cards by any chance? Dude, we would have so much fun. I love this stuff, I'm not sure. It's gonna be easier to learn. I'll think about it. I'll check out my username. But
I don't think I would put 3D
I mean, if you got family in town,
group.
you guys want to push it?
This could be like.
You want to play with Joker?
My friend.
Joker. Usually something. Yeah, it's like Joker. JC. Oh, you draw?
what part?
This is spoken? No, it's.
Oh, okay.
Oh, why do you like this?
And she's kind of.
You're gonna convert those.
Hell yeah.
And
Road trip.
how it's all is.
What's so that house is kind of
Place where you.
Yes.
right, okay.
Yeah.
And what's an outhouse?
Those, yeah.
We go outside or we go inside and
I don't go out. Hey, I go to.
Done, everybody's done?
When it fills up, you bury the whole.
So,
that's what an outhouse is.
Oh, okay. How'd everybody do?
Kind
Fantastic.
of didn't do very well.
Got one drop.
It's the end of the world.
Oh, I got the. Well, and that's all.
Wait, no, it's the other way around.
So.
Yeah.
What?
You switched it backwards.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I put. 2080.
Alright, what kind of fog forms around KTOA?
That's.
Where can you find the airport's control tower operation hours?
AFD.
In order to gain altitude, you need, how often are UV charts normally made?
Every 60 minutes.
Not every 30 minutes. How many fuel pumps does each Sling 2 have?
2
How many sling pumps does each LSA have?
fixed pitch grounded.
Is that the question I just asked?
No.
How many fuel pumps does the Sling LSA have?
One.
Two.
Two. It's the same. They're practically the same plane. How does Sling 2 or does the Sling 2 have a fixed pitch or constant speed? What does a constant speed allow you to do? Does anybody know?
Does that just
Better. Adjust the pitch of the blade.
Okay. So what'd you say?
I was wondering, does it spin like with the engine directly? Is the prop connected to the shift or something, or what is that?
So I don't want to go too deep into it, but yes, you could change the pitch of it. So whether you're in a climb or descent, you could keep the same RPM. What can you do here?
Take off.
Take off. What is this called? What's the max service ceiling? What direction to turn a standard for traffic pattern? What's the standard lapse rate?
Wait.
Per thousand.
Did I click the wrong one? Oh, sorry. What are the entry requirements for Class Bravo airspace?
ATC,
The last one.
on PPL or endorsement, mostly, that's all.
What are the spin recovery steps?
The last one.
Yeah.
Moderate turbulence in a widespread area, a segmented air mat.
The last one.
Can student pilots accept lasso? Where should you enter turn down point? Downwind. When can you deviate from ATC instruction?
The last one.
Do we have an MEL or KOEL?
KOEL.
What suffix is added to rain bearing cloud? Which of the following documents is not required to be in the aircraft?
First one.
How high should you fly above a protected wildlife area?
2000 feet.
Good job. Okay. So we have an hour and a half left. Who has a flight? Does anybody have a flight at 11?
30.
11:30. Cool, that's good. Do you guys want to do what we did yesterday with a different group of individuals? Or do we want to watch a video There's like a YouTube series called, I think, like Air Disasters. And it shows like historical sort of accidents, and we watch that, and then we can talk about it, like what should have been done differently, what was the cause of it, stuff like that.
What about what happened at KSEE 2 days ago?
Oh, I think their nose gear either collapsed when they landed or it just didn't come out.
It was on landing.
They just aboard takeoff, I think. Yeah, I think it was on the takeoff.
Well, I heard it was takeoff and they aborted, and then I heard it was landing, but their nose gear was like the nose of the.
Yeah, regardless, I think the nose gear either didn't come out or it collapsed.
Shows work.
So what do we want to do?
Light pressure.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting.
Hey. Trying to find one that's not like
No.
50 minutes long.
True. Yeah.
Does anybody know of any like major well-known accidents that you want to watch? And I know this seems like, oh, why are we gonna go watch an accident video? And if you are sensitive to it, we don't have to do this. You can just let me know. But I think it's important to, like, all of this happens, like, it's very unfortunate, but it happens for a reason, and we have to be able to look at those things and learn from it. That's the goal with every incident or accident, is to learn from it and not allow it to happen again.
I don't know if it was part of this series or maybe they have one. It was the one in San Diego where the person didn't say traffic inside, or they said something kind of off. And then there was somebody practicing IFR that they got hit.
You've seen a video of it, or
Because yeah, and there was an episode about it too, I think.
The Helios one when they got hypoxia.
hypoxia? What was that?
Helios something, there's like a.
Probably this one.
It's 100. The one where they crashed in Philadelphia neighborhood.
Yeah.
What called the, yes, run break, taxi rate.
The scariest flight in aviation park.
Okay. Yeah, but have you dissected it before? Everyone knows it, but have you like looked into it and been like, this happened, this happened, this happened?
Oh, I love that guy.
So we're gonna watch this, and then Marco's gonna explain the entire accident to us.
Right, sounds good.
I don't know if this is gonna be a good video, but hopefully it is.
How did American Airlines plane and a Black Hawk helicopter end up in a tragic crash while the plane was attempting to land on runway 33? In the videos ahead, we'll take a closer look at the final hours leading up to the crash. The confusion between the TAF-25 VIP military helicopter and the air traffic controller, and how the rescue operation is being carried out. More details all in the video ahead. The plane had departed from Wichita Dwight D. Eisenhower National Airport in Kansas earlier that evening. A PSA Airlines aircraft, operated under American Airlines and identified as Flight AA5342, collided midair with a military Black Hawk helicopter at approximately 9 p.m. on Wednesday, January 29, 2025. The tragic incident occurred as the plane was making its final approach toward Reagan Washington National Airport in Arlington, Virginia. American Airlines confirmed that 64 people were aboard the jet, 60 passengers and 4 crew members, while 3 soldiers were aboard the military helicopter. This plane's radio transponder stopped transmitting about 2,400 feet, which is around 730 meters short of the runway, roughly over the middle of the river. This has marked the first major U.S. commercial crash in more than 15 years. From an aerial perspective, it is evident that Flight A85342 was approaching the airport from the south, descending over the scenic Potomac River. This area is known for its proximity to several iconic landmarks, such as the Pentagon, located nearby in Pentagon City. To the north, one can spot the striking dome of the United States Capitol building, a symbol of American democracy. The Potomac River, which encircles the airport and much of Arlington, serves as a natural boundary and offers breathtaking views for arriving flights. However, this area is also densely trafficked, both by air and on the ground, adding to the complexity of air traffic management in the region. American Airlines Flight 5342, which we'll refer to as the landing flight, was on its final approach to runway 33. At this stage, called short final, the aircraft was mere moments from landing, flying at an altitude of about 400 feet. This is the most critical phase of landing, where every second counts and pilots are laser focused on safely bringing the plane down. At the same time, an Army Black Hawk helicopter, identified as PAT-25, was reportedly on a possible training flight. It was flying perpendicular to the flight path of Flight 5342, following the course of the Potomac River. The Potomac River is a designated flight corridor for helicopters, and it's common to see aircraft like this operating in the area. The key difference between the 2 aircraft in this scenario was their operating rules. The Black Hawk helicopter, PAT-25, was flying under visual flight rules. This means it was required to rely on visual observation of its surroundings to avoid other aircraft. The landing flight 5342 was operating under instrument flight rules, which give it priority over VFR flights in controlled airspace. This system assumes that VFR aircraft will actively maintain visual separation to avoid conflicts. Moments before the collision, the air traffic control tower at Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport called PAT-25 to confirm whether they had the other aircraft in sight. PAT-25 responded that they did. At first glance, this seems like an acknowledgement that they were aware of Flight 5342's presence and were taking steps to avoid it. However, it now seems likely that PAT-25 had mistakenly identified a different aircraft, possibly a departing flight from the same airport, and believed that was the other aircraft referred to by the tower. Tragically, PAT-25 may not have realized that Flight 5342 was descending directly into its path. This misidentification could have led to the Black Hawk failing to adjust its course in time to avoid a collision. Although I'm not a pilot, this is what appears to have happened based on the available information. It's a heartbreaking incident that raises questions about how such misunderstandings can occur and what safety measures can prevent them in the future. If you have more insight or expertise, please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. The passenger plane broke into multiple pieces and sank several feet into the river. Meanwhile, the helicopter ended up landing upside down on the water. Regarding the rescue mission, the main challenge is access. The water they're working in is about 8 feet deep, which is roughly 2.5 meters. On top of that, the conditions are tough. There's strong wind, chunks of ice floating around, which obstructs rescue workers. We also have audio from air traffic control that has been published online, capturing the moments as the 2 aircraft approach each other. In the recording, we can hear a conversation. It appears to involve the air traffic controller, with P standing for priority air transport, the helicopter, and CRJ referring to the passenger plane. The response seems to come from the helicopter, but something goes terribly wrong. The 2 aircraft continue to move closer to each other until they crash, and there was no response from the other side. This long shot video, recorded by the Kennedy Center cam, seems to show 2 aircraft, a helicopter and a commercial airliner colliding, creating a huge flash. If you take a close-up shot, you can clearly see the Black Hawk helicopter traveling at an alarmingly high speed directly towards the plane, a moment of impending danger captured in stark detail. According to reports, the situation unfolded due to apparent confusion on the part of the Black Hawk pilot. He was seemingly unaware of the presence of a second aircraft in the vicinity, which ultimately led to a critical misjudgment. When the flight controller radioed in, asking if the pilot had identified Flight 5342, the pilot confidently confirmed that he had visual contact. However, the plane he was referring to wasn't Flight 5342. It was a completely different aircraft flying above his position. This misidentification proved costly. The pilot, certain he was operating safely, continued his course. Tragically, he ended up flying directly into the path of an oncoming aircraft. The sequence of events highlights the immense complexity and risks of aviation, where even small communication errors or lapses in situational awareness can lead to dangerous, life-threatening outcomes. Let's take a look at a different case scenario of a Jeju Air Flight 2216. This South Korean airline was granted permission to land from the south on runway 1 northward. But control tower cautions against bird activity, so the aircraft made a slight deviation in flight path. The pilot declares Mayday after it hit a couple of birds, and it was instructed to make a go around and land on runway 19 southward. It was at this moment the airplane encountered another problem with the landing gear, which did not open. Finally, the plane had to make a belly landing with what was supposedly a landing gear failure because it hit in the middle of the runway and crashed into the elevated localizer antenna and concrete, erupting into a huge fireball, while the tail section remained intact. Morning 8:57. A TC broadcast a cautionary advisory about bird activity in the vicinity of the airport. 8:59. The pilot of Flight 7 C2216 reports a bird strike, declares an emergency was repeated. This is what he said: Mayday, Mayday, Mayday calls, and notifies a TC with the message: bird strike, go around. Just 1 minute after the bird strike at 9 o'clock. The flight initiates a go-around maneuver and requests authorization to land on runway 19, which requires an approach from the opposite end of the airport's single runway that is from the north to the south, which is not the actual landing procedure.
Hello, my name is Adam Ferrari, the Chief Executive Officer of Phoenix Energy. I look forward to you joining us.
Usually then land from the south to the north. 9:01 in the morning, a TC clears the aircraft to land on runway 19, 9:02 local time. The aircraft touches down on the runway approximately 1,200 meters, which translates to 3,940 feet from the threshold of the 2,800 meter. This is around 9,184 foot runway. 9:02 and 55 seconds later, the airport fire rescue unit completes the deployment of fire rescue equipment. 9:03 Flight 7 C2216 overshoots the runway and crashes into a hill-like structure beyond the runway's end, which later on we came to know that it hit the localizer antenna and its adjacent concrete embankment. And finally, we have a missile attack plane crash. At 10:43 a.m. Kazakh time, which is
kind of excessive with all the different stories, but with the military helicopter and the CRJ, what were some of the hazards? So think about a hazard is something that's always present. There's always like a danger of it. What were some of the hazards?
Lights everywhere,
Hmm?
right? There's lights everywhere. It's part of it.
Lights everywhere, it could become disorienting. It was nighttime, right? Flying at night's inherently more dangerous.
You've got the flight, I mean, what class of airspace was that? You have the flight path, that when the planes come in to land. It seems to me like the tower should have told that helicopter to circle or something until.
Mhm.
Instead of saying, do you have them in sight? Like, no, you're not going any farther till this guy lands.
Yeah, so busy, congested area. What else? Kind of also like the intersecting, like that corridor through the landing approach path.
That's weird.
What else? So busy airspace, nighttime, lights that could cause disorientation, intersecting flight paths. Anything else?
Maybe fog or.
Could have been some fog, yeah.
Because he was ice. So do you think like a controller told them at which direction the aircraft is? Cause like over here, like they're usually like, oh, right off your left, right, you're 11.
Yeah.
you know?
I know that ATC audio is pretty short. I've heard bits and pieces here and there of like more detail. And I know, I'm pretty sure they did keep it pretty vague, like you have that CRJ ahead of you, but there was the CRJ coming into land, but then there's also the departing flight. So they obviously, mistook the departing flight for the one that they were supposed to be looking out for.
Or like, so like, when we transitioned to Montgomery, that like one time there was an aircraft and then they told us like, stay north of him, there's an aircraft coming from. I forgot what degree it was, but it's like, stay north of him,
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure with this audio, ATC ended up telling the helicopter to pass behind the CRJ. And somebody was stepped on. I don't know if it was ATC telling the helicopter or the helicopter responding back, but ATC told them to pass behind the CRJ, and that message was kind of lost. Whether it was to the helicopter or back to ATC, but there's definitely miscommunication with that.
So to me, I mean, the helicopter on pre-flight or pre-flight briefing, right, they should know that it's the glide path of that runway, right?
They should know that, yeah,
So
that's like,
that'll be in that altitude.
they probably do that training route over and over and over again.
So for them to be in the same altitude, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is very good.
And to me, the helicopter just massively screwed up.
Yeah, I think in that situation, there are a lot of different factors, right? We talked about the hazards of it being night, being busy airspace. I believe the transponder, or what was it, the ADS-B went out at 2,400 feet for in the CRJ, which would then put them off the radar for any other aircraft. But the helicopter, I think, definitely, unfortunately, was more at fault. They said they saw the traffic when they didn't. They were told to pass behind the traffic, they didn't. So I don't know what was going through their mind, but that definitely leads to human error, which human error is, 85% of all accidents.
I know you're gonna change some rules based on that.
Yeah, exactly. So what do we think is going to be changed? I'm gonna think of really like one major thing that'll be changed.
It's like that flight path.
That flight path, right? That VFR corridor. They're probably gonna get rid of that or change that, or create a different specific frequency where people doing that are only talking to one ATC controller. They're probably gonna do something, but I would think they'll probably get rid of it. Go ahead. So what are some things that we think could have prevented that?
In my mind, the ATC turning that helicopter around when he saw the flight path, maybe not just have him in sight, but turn him around and get him away from the flight path.
Yeah, you could have turned him around, could have been more clear of where that traffic is.
Yeah,
Could have given him could have given them a heading to the left to be able to pass behind the plane.
I mean, the helicopter can hover, right?
Yeah, the helicopter can hover, so that could have been something else. I think the helicopter should have been more situationally aware. Right, because they were told to maintain visual separation. And while sure ATC could have done something, they could have been a little more specific. Once they hear, like in the audio recording, once it's stated, look for this traffic, we have traffic in sight, maintain visual separation, we will. That kind of puts it on the pilot at that point. ATC did what they're supposed to do. So that's also why it's very important that you, just like the air traffic manager said, and the other guy, Garrett Grant, I don't remember his name, was saying that like certain things are very important to repeat back. It's for purposes like this. It covers the controller, covers the pilots. They need to be able to hear, there's certain, boxes they have to check off.
And if what either the air traffic controller or the helicopter pilot would have stated where they see the traffic at, like even if the helicopter pilot said, yeah, I see the traffic at my 1 o'clock and the other one was at he would say, you've got traffic at your 7 o'clock. It could have.
Yeah, you could always clarify, like if the controller did tell the helicopter, traffic 12 o'clock, let us know when you have it in sight, and they say, oh, I have traffic at like my 2 or 3 o'clock, is that what we were talking about? Like, always clarify, like,
Yeah.
one clarification could have prevented this. All they could have done is, don't assume that whatever traffic you see is the one that they're talking about. If you don't know or don't see it, tell them you don't see it.
Do you think there was any communication with the jet?
Between the helicopter and the jet?
Helicopter, ATC and the jet?
Well, ATC was definitely talking to the jet. But helicopter and the jet wouldn't have been talking to each other.
You think because he was on a short final, like they didn't really want to bother him too much?
Probably, yeah. Usually they try to keep it a like sterile environment for aircraft that are taking off or landing.
But they can see each other, right? The helicopter and the jet and the radar.
Well, the jet could have seen the helicopter, but remember it said that the jet lost its like transponder, lost its like ADS-B out, so therefore now they won't be seen by the helicopter on their radar.
Oh, I thought it lost it at the crash and they were trying to see.
Now it's at 2,400 feet, it went out.
And they crashed at like 800?
Like 400-ish. So for 2,000 feet descending, they weren't on radar. So bad situation that could have been prevented. Human error, very, very big, and unfortunately the major leading factor to accidents and incidents.
This is a video called Deadliest Taxiway Collision. That's pretty to listen to.
I think I know which one you're talking about. That's the one where there was like a terrorist attack on one airport and they had to all divert to a different airport.
No, I don't know the situation, but the ATC instruction to taxi was not clear. This is so deadly, it's like the amount of people that kill is crazy.
Oh, not a taxi car.
Wait, the one that happened or the one that was about to happen?
But it happened in the 70s.
Oh, you seen the one?
Probably this one.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So we won't, it's 42 minutes, so we're not gonna watch that. But we can pull up that NTSB. Yeah, so basically what happened was, this was one that took place a long time ago, but there was an accident, or there was a bombing or terrorist threat at an airport in Las Palmas. Because of that, they closed the airport, so a lot of planes had to divert to a different airport, one of them being KLM flight 4805 and Pan Am 1736. the ramp was very, very crowded. To the point where some planes couldn't even move because of how crowded it was. There was also very thick fog, so visibility was very poor. But because it was so crowded, the taxiways couldn't be used. So the Pan Am flight had to back taxi on runway 12 for takeoff on runway 30. So basically what they did was. Does anybody see a marker or no?
I always have a spare.
Cool, thank you. So there's a bunch of airplanes here, right? And the Pan Am flight, I don't know where they were in sequence, but essentially they had to taxi all the way down this way to turn around to be able to take off from runway 30. And it was very low visibility. Crews were getting frustrated. But yeah, it was like a 2 hour delay. The KLM flight was cleared to, let's see, Pan Am crew had a backtrack on runway 12 for takeoff on runway 30. The entrance to runway 12, however, was blocked by the KLM Boeing. So the Pan Am flight had to wait for almost 2 hours for all the KLM passengers to reboard and refuel. The KLM flight was then cleared to back taxi runway 12, make a 180-degree turn. And then 3 minutes later, the Pan Am flight was cleared to follow the KLM aircraft and back taxi on runway 12. And they were supposed to exit at the third taxiway and report leaving the runway. KLM reported ready for takeoff and was given instructions for a pop-up beacon departure. So it was just a type of departure procedure. KLM crew reported the instructions. We are now at takeoff. Brakes were released and they started a takeoff roll. The tower, knowing that Pan Am was still taxiing down the runway, replied, "Okay, stand by for takeoff. I will call you." This message coincided with the Pan Am's transmission, "No, we're still taxiing down the runway." So pretty much they stepped on each other. And then eventually the KLM flight hit the Pan Am flight. So a lot of different factors leading to this, right? The unexpected diversion to the airport, how crowded it was, the low visibility, the improper phraseology, right? There's an example in here. Stand by for takeoff, I will call you. I wouldn't really say that's like proper phraseology. I know if you watch the video, and I don't know how accurate it is, but the captain of the KLM flight was kind of an asshole to the first officer, and the first officer intervened and said, "Hey, I don't think they cleared us for takeoff. Like, what are we doing?" And then the captain was like, "No, like we were cleared for takeoff. Let's go, full throttle." And so that was miscommunication from tower to the KLM flight, miscommunication even in the cockpit. Once again, while human error was the leading cause, there are other factors like low visibility, the delays, miscommunication, maybe language barrier, that led to this happening. But very unfortunate, and once again, could have been prevented.
The ATC seemed to be not very experienced to handle us.
Yeah, it was a smaller airport that wasn't used to that. So
Did it, did anybody survive that?
Yeah, people survive.
yeah, I don't know how many
They took the roof off the.
fatalities. So fatalities, 248 occupants, 248 Other fatalities, 335. So I think on the KLM flight, everybody died. And then on the Pan Am flight,
What's happening?
killing all, I think everybody died,
No, I saw some in the back and died, they were on the ground.
killing all 248 occupants on the KLM aircraft and 335 on the Pan Am flight. So I don't know how many occupants were on the Pan Am flight, but 335 died. So very unfortunate, could have been prevented. And if we look here, that's where the airport is. It's just on some small island that wasn't used to the all the traffic. But yeah, always repeat back instructions, repeat it back the correct way using correct phraseology, and never assume anything. If you don't know, clarify. Alrighty, shall we take a break?
Yeah.
Let's come back at 10:25. And then the last 30 minutes again, we'll do like face check practice.
So you know, turn on the light, so filming the property.
Yeah.
Over the back is confusing for me, right?
Oh, so. Elevator.
And down, way down.
Yeah, so. Or should it be elevator, stick down, yeah.
Simple.
Let's ask Cory if that was my wording, maybe there's a better wording. So for here with straight recovery. So the E is elevator will.
Elevator to break the stall and then recover. So it's probably gonna be a little bit of nose down to decrease the angle of attack, because you don't want to stall again. And then once you've broken the stall, then you recover.
So maybe just change the elevator to break, yeah, stall.
This is this elevator down, that doesn't, like, get it for me.
Where does it say that?
No, it doesn't say that, it says that,
Oh,
yeah.
Which is-
elevator to break the stall and recover.
Okay.
So we change it and also that,
Yeah, okay.
my bad.
'Cause I,
But to me, like.
yeah, it
No.
didn't like, wait,
Wait, no,
elevator
no.
down, that doesn't make sense to me, right? It's funny,
Yeah. Control stick forward
close to forward and then level off,
and then recover, yeah.
okay.
Because then at that point, you'll be in a nose down attitude.
Because I probably nice at every word.
Is there a boozer
Right.
like that,
Yeah.
including non-grateful?
That is funny.
So NTSB, National Transportation Safety Board, they do all the accident investigating and releasing those reports. So every general aviation, every commercial aviation crash, they'll be the ones to do it. For military, I think the only reason that the NTSB did it for this one was because there was a commercial airline. But I think the Army, whatever their investigation unit is for accidents, were a part of this as well. I don't know if NTSB does it for just military accidents. I think it's only if it involves general aviation or commercial aviation.
You can go back and listen to every traffic call too, right? Which site is that?
You can go to live ATC. You just have to know the time in UTC and the date.
It's a buddy of mine said he's listening to that crash in Santee and Del Santa recently. He said he went back and listened to the whole thing and, yeah,
Mhm.
so there's a way to go back and listen to all the incidents.
Yeah, probably live ATC. And if you go and like search ATC audio for this accident, somebody's probably already found it and uploaded it somewhere else, so.
And that's not really. People can go and listen to mine.
Yeah, Everything's recorded.
Yeah, if they go hear my ATC conversation, I'll get diagnosed with something.
That's why they want to hear that.
You must,
You want to hear that running rate, take off running 27 left, right? That's recorded.
yeah,
This thing happened,
Cover the
do
rest.
something right.
yeah.
Yeah. I made a mistake testing, you know how you always go,
27
2 7
right,
left, your alpha, delta, cross the flat, right?
yeah.
And my instruction that day was out of the whole,
Take delta instead of alpha delta,
no, they said full short on delta,
okay.
taxi alpha, short on delta. And I got confused. So I almost crossed delta, and I thought I was gonna stop before 35.
So what-
I didn't expect to be stopped at delta, right?
Let's look at the. I'm curious what that would look like on the real, so get 4 let's look at the.
Well, if you, once you here, the first taxiway is alpha, right?
Alpha, yeah,
And then the first one you taught me, before you cross.
so you're supposed to pull short right here,
Right,
or the G is,
right.
or you must be, okay.
Yes, right, this was the whole short. And I. You know, because another aircraft is taxiing
3 delta,
through delta. So two things, I didn't follow I didn't grasp the instruction,
yeah,
right?
you helped me out a lot actually too.
Yeah, and then I didn't pay attention to, because when you cross, you gotta look left and right, right?
Mhm.
So I was so wrapped up in,
They said,
yeah. So, but yeah, so now, man, I'm doing, when I taxi, my expression, you know, right down and like,
yeah, I usually do have my notepad.
yeah,
And I'm ready to write, well, first I write down what I expect they're gonna
Yeah.
tell me alpha delta cross the tribe.
Yeah.
But then like I have it and I'm paying attention, and if what I'm hearing in my ear matches what I'm looking at, I just say it. But if it doesn't, I'll pause, you know?
Yeah.
So, and then also, like a few times when I landed, I take delta 3 instead of alpha.
Yeah.
You know, and then when I'm at delta 3, I remember you told me one time you almost went in through delta instead of alpha.
right,
They told you to take delta, alpha,
yeah.
back to slang.
So I turn, I'll turn right here.
You were turning on delta.
Right.
Yeah, and one time they actually did tell me to turn in on delta.
Right.
So I was able to find it, because the one time we talked about it.
Yeah.
I love your delta, casually this.
Because that'll, I mean, is, there's a clear way to get into the parking lot here, right?
Yeah,
But let's say, what was the instruction? Say,
Yeah.
to alpha,
yeah,
well, you didn't reach alpha yet.
yeah.
Oh, no, you gotta just like, you gotta be so careful about how it's. Making mistakes is probably one of them. You gotta be
So you said you have a one today?
5, shoot
5, sorry.
on a Friday. And have a dinner party to go to.
Ask them if there's something you can do about it, you never know.
I got here at 7 and nobody was flying, perfect, yeah.
That's,
So no, I asked the guy. No thing about it. So they.
Sure, good. Good, how are you?
hey, how was Long Beach?
Which part?
Technically,
Yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, I thought it was cool. Yeah, I mean, it was a charity event. So basically you had teams competing and Sling had, we had our own team. And yeah, we just pulled the plane. Like there was just people from the other campuses.
so
Like
you
the-
2 people pulled the plane or?
Well, so we had 25 people, but Sling had their own team, and then there's like a team of like firefighters, police officers. So like whoever did it the fastest would win, but it was centered on that charity event.
Yeah.
So when I went, we were supposed to do my cross country, but we got weathered out, so we had to drive.
Oh,
But you just.
that would have been fun.
I know it would have been fun, but in a way, I'd say, I mean, it would have been cool if we did it, but I was getting ahead of myself because we're not that far yet.
Not cross country, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, we made the most out of it, but yeah, with the Sling team, you see other people from other campuses. And the way the guy from Long Beach was explaining it to me, because he's the same as us, he was like, it's kind of visiting somebody from an alternate universe.
Yeah, it's like,
Because they're Sling but in Long Beach and Sling in Torrance. And it looked like most of the people in the 25 people were from Torrance, which makes sense because that's the headquarters.
yeah, the biggest.
So, but yeah, I thought it was cool. Yeah, one of the Special Olympics people was with us and like kind of told us his story or whatever. of like dealing with adversity. And then, yeah, it was cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Was there any planes doing anything, any aerobatics, anything like that, or just dangerous?
It was, yeah, so basically what they did is, there was a crew of like 15, 20 people where every time a group would come and pull it, they would put it back. And then if it was a group where, you know, they kind of didn't have the strength, which is understandable, like the crew would probably push it. It was, here, I'll show you. It was like one of those, UPS or whatever. It was, yeah, it was a big one. Like, I don't know if it was like a 787 or
Oh, like a
777.
jet.
Yeah, like a
Oh, dang, I think you guys are pulling a sling, like, isn't that overkill?
No, so they did have a Cessna, like it was a California Highway Patrol Cessna that was being pulled. But here, this was from them.
That's not all.
Holy no.
Oh, here we go. So this is yeah, us right here. I think the guy that's yelling is the CEO of Sling. Yeah,
I was not expecting that.
yeah, so the Long Beach campus of Sling was also here, so we did a tour of it. Yeah, and what's it
I
called?
was expecting like something like that.
Oh, yeah, so they did have that, but it was like kind of in the background, like, yeah. Yeah, and with the Long Beach campus for Sling, it's way more strict than this one, and what I mean by that is before you go in. The students at Sling, they have to have like a scanner thing.
A badge.
Yeah, they have to have a badge with a scanner, and then when they're out on the runway or like going to the plane, they have to have their certifications out and stuff. And then when we went inside, even though we're part of Sling here, we had to like fill out a form. Chaps went there too, like a week before us, I think. But that's why I was joking with him when I said, hey man, when we visited the Long Beach campus, we had to take off our shoes. Because I mean, yeah, well, in a way,
Is that your car when you park?
no, so we parked part of where everyone else did for the plane pool, but we had to walk over. So like when we left the plane pool, we had to walk like maybe like 5 minutes. 10 minutes at the most to go to the Sling part of the airport. So it's kind of like here where we have Sling right here, but the plane pool is actually on the other side
Yeah.
of Gillespie.
Yeah.
Like we all have to walk over there, so. But yeah, they have a nice setup and I mean, but the thing is, it's a new campus, so it makes sense that it looks, you know, everything is more up to date and sophisticated, I guess. So, and then yeah, dude, I mean, it's just like here, but different instructors, but like it's still like the same leadership type thing. Yeah, I'm sure I was talking to Owen or whatever, there's other events coming up, like that's just one of the many events that Sling will partake in, I guess. But with you, how close are you to being to your pre-solo stage check? Yeah, so I don't know either, I was just guesstimating maybe like 2 weeks out or something, but I'm just.
It depends on how consistent the flights are, you know, like.
Right, and
like
our mastery of maneuvers too, right?
Yeah. Where's this going? How's your maneuvers?
Good, I mean, I'm gonna be with Kichion today, we're on standby, but yeah, so I haven't flown with him yet, but hopefully we get to, because I'm on standby, but
I haven't got to fly with him. Yeah, I'll fly with him. He's really great on the ground. Like ground
Yeah.
pass is amazing. He's a good guy.
well, he's good at explaining things for the ground stuff. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I flew with Izzy for my intro, and then I've been with Rodrigo since we started. But yeah, what I'm still trying to figure out is with steep turns where I'm just kind of all over the place, and then when it's hard to run a flight, I'm struggling with that a little bit, but everything else is going good in regards to maneuvers. And with steep turns, I mean, there's still other changes I need to make, but I'm kind of behind. So like, what I mean by that is, when I end up pulling up, I pull up too much, so now we're increasing altitude.
Yeah.
So,
a lot.
but then even before that, my hand placement wasn't the best either, because when I was pulling onto the stick, I had but I kind of had it from the very top versus like having it rest on my leg. So it's funny because when I thought I figured it out, it's like, oh, well, that's affecting it too. So it's like, yeah, I'm trying to figure it out, so.
That's good too.
Exactly. Well, when you do steep turns, do you use trim or no? Cause I know it varies. You can't.
I don't.
Like one of my other flies, he did the whole turn only using trim. He let go of the stick and it flew, it did the turn by himself.
So if he did a steep turn only using trim, then that means like he times it perfectly before he even makes the turn to where the change implements. And it flows perfectly.
So he also knows the percentage, right? Like he knows, right, he can read the gauge where,
Where
Yes,
the
no.
trim is?
yeah, the trim is.
Yeah.
There's a little trim here.
Yeah, right. He memorized where, approximately where should
Well,
be.
but also with the trim indicator, there's like one second delay, right?
Yeah,
Like, cause you have to be looking outside like 90% of the time.
because they, someone time, right, you hold for 5 seconds or 3 seconds, you know,
Yeah, you're right. Got a time delay.
yeah. Yeah, in the old days, like first 2 weeks, I hated when I take off after you trim for landing, right? And the moment you land in full power again,
Yeah, now you're
Oh.
fighting the stick.
so now I learned right before I go full power, I re-trim back in.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So you just release some pressure because you're fighting that thing.
Yeah.
I would love to just take off and trim and just 72.
So just use the autopilot.
Yeah, yeah. Look, that click. Yeah, it'd be cool to learn that, right? So as you take off, how many clicks to get the thing to hold 72?
A long time wise, people.
Yeah.
The special. I already know, right? Switch them.
Couple minutes.
I speak to the special.
Okay.
So Corey, we're trying to talk about or have a discussion how much of the how much can we cheat using trim on a certain user, take or whatever, right? Is there a way to not cheat, but get that to help you?
For what specifically?
Let's say I want, I'm
Let's
taking
say
off, right?
steep turns.
Or like take off, right? I'm trying to just hit that VY, you know, as fast as I can or as best I can. If I trim fast enough, I can just pretty much let it fly, right? Is that recommended? or-
No,
Okay,
because we don't fly with trim, we fly with elevator and use trim to assist us.
okay.
So don't worry about trying to trim fast enough to be able to pitch for whatever, because we shouldn't be doing that. We're flying with this motion, not this motion.
Okay.
So all you're doing is pitching for 72, right? When you level off from a climber descent, you'll hear the term pitch, power, trim.
Right.
Pitch for horizon, power back, then trim to relieve it. So that should be the last thing you're doing. You shouldn't be flying with that. Now, there are ways to use trim to help you, like with steep turns. With the sling, I don't think you need to use trim, just keep it neutral, like at cruise flight. So like in the Duchess, it, you know, weighs 2 or 3 times of a sling, like you have to do 1, 2 full swipes of trim, up trim, to help you be able to pull it back, because it's such a heavy airplane. Landings, me personally. So let's talk about like the aerodynamics. You're flying along, you're beaming numbers, you pull back the power, you're below 85, you do flaps 1. What's gonna happen to the airplane?
Just gonna nose up a little bit and then down.
Shouldn't be any nose up.
Okay.
It should just go down. You might rise, right? Because you're adding flaps, you have power in, so you'll rise, but it shouldn't go like this. It should just be like this.
Watch the pro flat 1.
Anytime you add flaps, flaps 1, it'll go like this,
Right.
and then you'll give it some up trim to help, you know, relieve that nose down tendency. You go flaps 2, it'll want to go down more, give it some up trim. Flaps 3, it'll want to go down more, give it some up trim. So me personally, when I do my landings, I will have like with flaps 3, power low, I'll have like complete, like the trim will be all the way down. Like I want to be able to come in the land and it's just a perfect pitch angle coming in. But keep in mind, if you have to go around, or when you do a touch and go and you go flaps 1 in full power, you have all that up trim and it's going to want to go like that. So you have to be mindful to bring it back to
Yeah,
neutral.
we just talked about that. That's what started this conversation stuff.
Yeah.
When you trim for full flaps, But before you take off again, you better. You know how to fight it, right?
But once again, remember, you're not flying with trim, you're flying with elevator. So even if you don't fix the trim and that it wants to go up like this, all you do is just pull the stick forward, right? You're flying with elevator, you're not flying with the trim. So it doesn't matter if it's completely trimmed one way or the other. You should be able to keep it straight and level if you really wanted to. You just use the trim to make it easier for yourself.
It's just a weird feeling when you're taking off, you're fighting, you're pushing the stick forward.
Yeah.
So it's just a weird feeling watching.
Okay, so Corey, when you're doing a steep turn, you know precisely to not fall behind it in regards to like you're dropping altitude and then you're pulling up too much and then you overcompensate.
Occasionally, keywords occasionally, because your vision should be outside the plane, but occasionally look at your altitude, look at your VSI, just a quick glance. If you see full magenta line going down, you know you're descending pretty quickly. So the sweet spot is when you make that turn, if you're starting to descend and you give it back pressure to correct for it, you're going to feel yourself pressing in the seat. If you give it too much back pressure, that feeling of being pressed in your seat is going to disappear. So you want to find like a sweet spot of just a little bit of that feeling being pressed in your seat, and you know you're doing a steep turn correctly. But you have to use the horizon where the nose is with the horizon. You have to use your instruments. You can't just aimlessly go and do a steep turn. Like you got to really pay attention to, is the nose coming down in comparison to the horizon? Is the nose above the horizon? So those are all indicators of you're climbing or descending. The biggest thing is with steep turns, a lot of people decide they want to start pulling up as they start to turn. What's going to happen? You're going to start to climb. So you shouldn't be giving it really any back pressure. The nose should be at horizon until about 30 degrees. And then as you're banking from 30 to 45, that's when you start to give it the back pressure. If you give it back pressure before, you're going to start to climb. And then what's your tendency going to be? To pitch down. And then you're going to descend like crazy. And then you're going to correct for it. It's going to be constant up and down. So with any maneuver, small corrections from the beginning. Otherwise, you'll be making big corrections later on in the maneuver, and you don't want that.
So back pressure at 45 degrees, you say?
When you're reaching 30 and you're continuing that bank to 45, at 30 degrees is when you want to slowly give it a little bit of back pressure. Because what happens at 30 degrees, you lose some of that vertical lift and you gain that horizontal component of lift. So you need the back pressure to hold altitude.
On base turn, how many degrees are we turning?
Could be 10, could be 20. I don't like when students do 30 degrees. I think that's too much for turning such a tight pattern. I'd say like 20 degrees is,
Max.
yeah. And if you're trying to have the mindset of, oh, well, if I don't do 30 degrees, then I'm going to go too wide. Well, just start the turn sooner, right? I would say like 20 degrees. Some instructors let their students do 30. I think it's too much. But 20 degrees, I would say, is like average.
For the traffic.
Yeah. To me, visually, when I turn base, it's scary to me, knowing that 27 right is also.
Yeah.
And then that just freaks me out every time.
So just anticipate it, right? Anytime you turn to base and you level off, you should make it a habit of looking to your right, verifying and verbally saying final is clear. And then just anticipate that turn to the left. Like when you're flying on base and you like look 45 degrees to your left, you see the runway, that's when you can maybe start that turn.
Earlier better than later.
Yeah, especially if there's traffic coming in, like cut the turn a little, cut the corner and just get lined up with the runway. Good? All right.
Secret Service will be. Back if you want.
Do we, want the last 30 minutes to be sort of face check practice, or do we want the last 30 minutes to be written exam questions?
Yes.
Okay,
Great, thank you.
I need show of hands, written exam. 1, 2, 3, 4. Show of hands, face check, oral practice. All right, I've seen 8 hands, and I know there's more than 8 people in here. So I'm gonna sit here and keep doing it again until I see all hands. Written exam practice, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7. Oral, the face check oral practice. 1, 2, 3, 6. All right. So it's a tie, which means I have to be in the unfortunate position of deciding what to do. You're
Flip coin. You can do a random flip on
Rock, paper, scissors, like.
open a new tab and just click random.
well, we don't want a freaking AI coin to decide what's best for you guys. I think your pre-solo face check will come a lot sooner than your written exam will for the majority. And we don't have a coin, so
I do.
too late. Already been decided. It was heads. Station practice. I need 2 volunteers because KSEE was very eager to practice, so you're going to be one of them.
I'll be wrong with you. Volleyball? We'll do
Ball
together.
pole. Okay, then 1, 2, and 3.
I'm actually.
I'll just bring the shirt up against that. Yeah, you want my third? You. Well, bro, it was like I was just to see.
It was a very good day when I was out there.
Let's give it to you.
All right, we ready? I'd like the panel to just introduce ourselves.
I'm Michael Larson.
Sorry.
Sure.
I'm KSEE. My name is Izzy.
Perfect.
Good to that.
All right, we will get into it then. Some of it might be a little repetitive from the other day, yesterday, but repetition is good. Michael, what are the limitations of a student pilot?
The limitation of a student pilot is that they can't carry any passengers. And they could fly solo, but if they have the endorsement or an approval of their CFI. The main thing is that they can't carry passengers.
Okay. What about, there's a couple others I'm looking for.
No compensation.
Yep, no hire, no compensation. One more.
Can't hide through. B.
Come on now.
Without.
B.
They can't fly through Bravo without an endorsement.
Yes, exactly. Good.
Sorry.
The price is right.
Okay, good. So yeah, there's more limitations than there are privileges. Casey, what are some privileges and limitations of a private pilot?
Black people.
Okay. Continue. Talk
I know
about,
what you could do, I don't know what I forgot what the purpose are.
okay, so what can't you do?
Hmm?
What can't you do then?
What can't you, well, just like, you can't get paid and you can't. Let's do a balance, right?
Yeah, private pilot. What are some privileges and limitations?
So you can carry passengers.
Can carry passengers.
You can do a solo if. You can solo.
Yeah, you're private, you're a licensed pilot, so I wouldn't include that in the privileges, because that's not guaranteed.
No less than only for like, yeah. You can like compensation like a fraction of the, you want like rent.
So careful using the word compensation.
Or, okay, what's the right word?
So pro rata share,
Pro rata share.
meaning that if you and I go fly, we rent a plane on the weekend. And I'm not a pilot. I have to pay, or I can pay 50%, you can pay 50%, but I can't pay 75%, and then you as the pilot only pays 25. So it has to be pro rata, meaning even shares. So you can carry passengers, you can split the cost as long as you don't pay less than pro rata share. What else can you do as a private pilot?
And work for like, charity events.
Yeah, you can volunteer for charity events, nonprofit events, search and rescue. What else can you do?
Request Bravo airspace.
You can fly through Bravo with clearance, yeah. Mamone, you're looking like you're in the market to buy something. Looks like you have some money. You want to buy this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You
You can buy a plane.
can sell people planes.
yes, you can act as an aircraft salesman if you have at least 200 hours.
Salesman?
Yes,
Oh, but money, even student can buy it, right? Anybody can buy it.
anybody could buy a plane, yeah. But to be able to sell a plane, for me to say, hey, I have this, I work for this company, we sell planes, let me take you up, show you the plane. I have to have 200 hours.
Well, what about like, let's say, right now I'm a student, I buy a plane, and I just like, I don't wanna do this no more, I wanna sell it, do I have to go to a salesman to sell it, or can I post it myself?
I think you'd have to go through like a broker, but the thing is like, if you worked at a car dealership, right, they have to go and get their like salesman license or certification. It's like the same with the planes. You have to, for you to be able to take somebody up and fly them around, demonstrate the airplane, to then be like, all right, sign these papers, it's yours. You have to have 200 hours. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, what are some limitations? What are you not allowed to do?
You can't get paid for it.
Okay, so no compensation or higher.
You can't fly commercially or.
Compensation or higher, yeah. What about, okay, let's just say your mom comes down to visit and you take her up to go fly and she's like, oh, how much was the rental for the hour and a half? I'm gonna pay for it.
Yeah.
No, right? Because that you're being compensated. Now, let's just say you convince her to pay 50-50, and then she's like, oh, there's an airport cafe. Let's go get some food. I'll buy you lunch.
That's okay.
Fine.
Nope.
Oh,
On the
never mind.
eyes of the FAA, that is compensation.
Yeah, never mind.
No.
Wow. Can't buy you lunch.
Nope, not if it's like sort of in conjunction with the flight. Like if you go fly to an airport and go to their airport cafe and you paid 50-50 on everything, you have to pay 50-50 on your lunch.
Great, but for example, the pilot can pay for.
Pilot can pay for everything, yeah, yeah.
That's.
I thought it was concerning the flight as far as rental charges, fuel, anything to do with.
In the eyes of the FAA, if you're getting lunch paid for, that is compensation.
If you took them, if you flew there and.
Like if I went and flew you and then you're like, oh, that was such a great time, like, let me buy you lunch, let me go buy you a drink. Nope,
Or
can't.
what if it's just like, in general, like, I just want to buy lunch, not even for the flight, just be like.
So that's the gray area, it's like, how will the FAA know that, right? No, unless you go and tell them, yeah, I got compensated lunch, but that's the gray area of if you just were planning on buying me lunch anyway, and we didn't plan on flying, like, is that compensation? Maybe yes, maybe no, but they see it as compensation and you can't do that.
But what about if, they want to invite you to leave the house? To put something.
I'd say that's a little different, just because they're not like spending money at a business. Yeah. It's a very gray area and you can spend hours talking about the what ifs, but in the eyes of the FAA, if you go and take somebody flying and they go and buy you lunch, that's compensation. What about if I'm having just a chill weekend and one of my buddies is like, hey, I have a work meeting in Palm Springs. You want to fly there? I'm like, sure, let's split it 50-50. Is that allowed?
Yes, because it's prorated.
Nope. What are you being compensated? What were you not planning on doing that weekend?
Anything?
Flying. So what are you now being compensated? Flight hours. So in the eyes of
I didn't even
the
look at it
FAA,
like that.
that is
That makes sense.
compensation, unless you were planning on going there and you had purpose going there. Then it would be compensation for flight hours.
What's like a valid like purpose like I wanna go to.
So state that scenario again.
So if it's like for a business, like if they're flying for like a business meeting, because what if they just wanted to fly? Like isn't that the same scenario as it is with your family? Like what if they just wanna get like hours.
You have to be the one to say, I am planning on flying today. I want to go fly. Do you want to come with me? And once again, that's one of those gray areas. How is the FAA going to know that? How does the FAA determine, what side of the story it's on? But in their eyes, that is compensation because you're being compensated flight hours. And those are both questions I was asked on my check side.
So
And I got both of them wrong.
I don't understand. So what's the scenario?
The scenario is Saturday morning, you're laying in bed, you just want to have a relaxing Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon. You don't plan on doing anything, you don't plan on flying, and one of your friends hits you up and says, hey, can you fly me to Palm Springs? I have a business meeting there, I have family there that I want to see. And you're like, sure, okay, but we have to pay 50-50. You were not planning on flying that day. You were not planning on getting flight hours. You are now being compensated those flight hours.
How are you compensated the flight hours?
Because you weren't planning on flying. You were not going to receive any flight hours that day, but now you are because your friend needs to go somewhere.
Even if it's good cost.
But what do you mean?
Were you planning on flying Saturday morning?
What does that have to do? I don't understand. I am not tracing this at all. I thought if you flew and you each paid half.
So what is our
How
goal
is
with our
that?
flight hours? How many flight hours do we want to get?
1,500.
1,500. Were you going to contribute to that 1,500 by flying on Saturday? No, you weren't because you weren't planning on flying. But now you are being compensated flight hours because you were not planning on flying and contributing to the 1,500 hours. And now you're getting that 2.5 hours. Doesn't matter if you're paying pro rata share. You have to be the one that wants to fly. If you weren't planning on flying to Palm Springs, you were being compensated those hours to get to Palm Springs.
Compensated the hours that you're building?
Yes, because you were not planning on flying. You are not going to get those 2.5 extra hours.
Wrong. Like, that is, they're getting.
We can call the FAA and tell them they're wrong right now. But
That is wrong.
So Sherilyn, think of it this way, you didn't initiate wanting to fly to Palm Springs.
So.
you have to initiate.
I'm saying what about?
That's just the rules.
That just doesn't even, like, I don't even see how that even matters, like,
It does,
why do they?
but it's a regulation, right? It's the same as saying like, I can drive better after drinking 10 beers. Sure, that might be true, but even if I disagree with the law, like, it's still the regulation.
Yeah, I think they're the regulation. Okay.
I mean, okay, this sounds really shitty, but like, how would they?
They won't.
Like, do they audit?
They won't.
It's a,
They won't audit you, they won't send an investigator out, they don't have somebody listening with microphones, they won't know.
it's honor
It's
system.
the honor system. Just like if you're flying along in the middle of nowhere and there's a cloud there, is anybody gonna see you go through that cloud? No, but if you go through that cloud, are you breaking the rule? Yes.
If you have your commercial license and you do that, do you need to like make your contract or something to legally do that? or-
That comes down to being an operator, getting your like part 135 or 121 operator like certificate. So that's like a whole nother thing. Yeah. That could also be hours of conversation. I mean, when you get to commercial, that's when you should worry about that.
So like when two people wanna go fly together and they get hours for doing it, that's not,
No, because you both have the intent of going to fly.
yeah, but one had to come up with the idea first.
One had to come up with the idea and it needs to be the pilot.
But I mean, like, I don't know, I just,
You can not understand it and not agree with it, but that is the FAA.
I don't even,
How they
I don't
view
even
it.
understand that at all. Like, I don't understand that at all.
That's just how it is. And if you answer otherwise on your check ride, you will, that'll be wrong.
I know.
So Corey, even though you got those two questions wrong on your check ride, were you still able to pass it completely? But it was just like, hey, you got these wrong.
Yeah, it's just a
Okay.
conversation at the end, be like, moving forward, make sure like you know this stuff.
Oh,
Is
okay.
it kind of like how like we for driver's tests, like, just because you get one thing wrong, it's not like the end of the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, what they want to see is consistency. They want to see that you're a safe, consistent pilot. If you're constantly deviating below the standards, then that's an issue. But like if you miss things here and there, if you go out of your altitude tolerance once or twice, but then you correct for it, like that's fine. They're not looking for perfection. They want to see that you're a safe, consistent pilot. And I'm sorry that, don't overcomplicate it, just,
Cause.
it's black or white, this is right, this is wrong, just know that, that's all you need to know.
Cause to me, you're not being compensated hours. You're flying hours and therefore you've got the hours. I mean, it doesn't make sense. You're not being compensated by it.
The compensation comes from you are not planning on flying that day,
What if you paid for the whole trip?
then I'm sure that'd be fine.
So because they're paying half, they're paying for half of the hours that you're gonna be credited.
You are
on your-
benefiting from the flight more so than it being 50-50. If you paid 75% and they paid, or if you paid 100% and they paid 0,
Uh-huh.
then that's okay if you get those flight hours, because you're not coming out on top, you're paying 100%. It all comes down to, this is 50%, this is pro rata share. Now, where do they benefit more? Where do you benefit more? So if you paid 100%, they benefit by getting a free flight, which is fine because they're not a pilot. If you pay 50-50 and now you get flight hours or you get lunch or they give you a gift, now that needle's kind of moving over to you benefiting from that because you're getting something out of it.
Okay.
One of another privileges for private pilot is flying cross country.
What about flying cross country?
Is another privileges for private pilot?
No. No,
Can a student do it also?
as long as they have the endorsements, yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, once you have your private pilot license, you can go do whatever you want, pretty much, as long as you're not being compensated or working for hire.
Just don't go to Antarctica.
Don't go to Antarctica, yeah. You'll be arrested. All right, are we ready to move on? We have 10 minutes. We'll skip ahead. We'll do something we didn't do yesterday. Michael, what are the different sources of weather?
The different sources of weather is for flight, of course, and then you have 1-800-WX brief. And then you also have aviationweather.gov or, okay,
AWC Aviation Weather Center.
okay, yeah, Aviation Weather Center.
Cool. Casey, what are the types of briefings you could get from calling 1-800-WX brief? Briefings.
Oh.
Abbreviated.
Outlook and last one. Standard.
Yes. What situation would you get an Outlook briefing?
If you're flying. Like. Later maybe,
Okay,
I don't know.
later when?
Like 6 hours, right?
If your departure time is more than 6 hours out.
Yeah.
You can get an Outlook. And then right before your flight, what briefing might you get?
Standard.
You can get a standard if you have time.
Standard, right?
Yeah, well, you don't have to have any. You don't have to get a weather briefing if you don't want
Okay,
to.
but that's like the recommended.
Yeah, because
But then
standard
if it's
covers
standard and then
everything.
it will like, if it gets like delayed, you get an abbreviated. Like
Yeah,
right
you could do an
before.
abbreviator right before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going?
Good, how you doing?
Good.
30-minute break.
30-minute break? All right, well, you can join us for the last 8 minutes of class.
Cheers, yeah, I'm up for it.
Okay, cool. What are some examples of, Michael, not different weather sources, but like the types of weather report? Like maybe forecast type of reports.
Okay, so the different types of weather reporting, could be the MOS, the TAF, and the daily winds.
And what's another one? What shows the weather right now?
That's gonna be ATIS.
Okay, what
Shows
else?
The tower, reports the weather.
Okay, what else? What do we look at in ForeFlight?
Um,
You mentioned TAF, right? That's a
Yeah.
forecast, but what's a in the moment right now, current weather?
Like what's in a tab?
No, like TAF is a forecast, but what do we look at if we want to see the weather right now, this moment?
Like trim stuff like that.
Temperature will be a part of this, but what weather report?
current forecast.
Current forecast is contradicting, right? So what are we looking at right now, audience? METAR.
Okay.
Right, ATIS and METAR aren't the same thing. They report the same things, but the ATIS is the tower reporting it. METAR is a textual thing we look at.
Got it.
Casey, how often is the METAR updated?
60, every 60 minutes.
Every 60 minutes, usually 50 minutes past the hour. So if you're sitting in the plane at 1:45 p.m. and you don't hear the ATIS, they're probably updating it. METAR as well. What about the TAF? How long is that valid for and how often do they update it?
4, 6.
6 times, 6 hours?
6, once every 6 hours.
Okay, and how long is a TAF valid for? That's how much they update it, right? Every 6 hours, so 4 times a day. So how long is it valid for?
6, 12, 24.
24 to 30 hours, the TAF is valid for, but they update it every 6 hours, so 4 times a day. What is the radius of a TAF, Michael? Like, do we have a TAF here?
No,
No, where's the TAF at?
if I remember correctly, we reference Miramar's TAF.
Okay, Miramar, and from Miramar, how far out does it look at the weather forecast?
Far out in regards to time.
In regards to a radius?
Oh, radius. I want to, 5 statute miles.
5 statute miles. Are we within that 5 statute miles or outside of it?
We're in it.
Are we?
We're not.
We're not in, we're like 8 miles away. So when looking at the TAF, is it always gonna be reliable for us here being outside of that 5 statute miles?
No, it won't always be reliable.
Yeah, so we can look at it with a grain of salt, right? Like the weather at Miramar might be drastically different than it is here. So while we might look at the TAF and see that it's gonna be IFR in the morning, it might not be because we're outside of those 5 statute miles. Casey, what are the types of ice?
Oh my gosh. Clear and, no,
Clear, mixed, brine.
Right?
Clear, mixed, and brine. Which is the most dangerous?
Clear,
Why?
because you can't see it.
Can't see it as well. And then how does it form?
It's.
So is clear versus rime. Clear is larger supercooled water droplets. When they hit the leading edge of the wing, they freeze as they roll over. So it freezes in layers. It's a lot heavier, it's a lot harder to get off. Rime is going to be the smaller supercooled water droplets that freeze on impact. Giving it that sort of like crystal, kind of like milky kind of color look. It's a lot easier to get off than clear. Cool. Izzy, what are the types of icing? So we talked about the types of ice, but what are the different ways that ice forms on different parts of the airplane? Types of icing. Mhm.
You mean?
What would on the wings be called?
What
Types of icing.
Wing ice.
No. Anybody? I know one person in here has to know it. Don't be shy because we have a guest in here.
I thought we just talked about that.
Structural,
Oh,
right? Structural icing, that's on the wings or the fuselage. Instrument icing, right? The pitot tube or the static port. Induction icing, that could be like in the air intake. We have carb icing. Does that all sound familiar to everybody?
Right now. I don't remember this.
Well, I wasn't here when you guys went over weather.
Yeah, I don't think we really.
You didn't.
Yeah, I don't recall that.
so
Oh,
structural,
that's fantastic.
structural instrument.
Structural, instrument, induction, and carb icing.
What's induction icing?
So the air intake or like the manifold air intake, the ice might form there, causing less air to be flowing into the fuel air mixture. Good?
Structure.
Structural. Induction. Instrument. You could carb icing as well, but we do we have a carburetor in the IS? No. Michael, 3 recipes for a thunderstorm,
The three
or 3 ingredients for a thunderstorm.
3 ingredients for a thunderstorm is moisture. Abrupt shifts in air. And
So sufficient moisture,
sufficient moisture,
Unstable.
unstable air,
unstable atmosphere,
yeah.
and then one more,
Oh, and a lifting force.
lifting force. Casey, what are and this will be the last question because we're out of time. Spent a lot of time on talking about compensation. What are the different stages of a thunderstorm?
Oh my gosh.
Let's go in order. developing,
Mature.
mature, dissipating. What are we primarily gonna see in the developing? Updrafts or downdrafts?
Up.
Updrafts, what about mature?
Both.
Both. What about dissipating?
Down.
Then we'll have a lot of rain.
Hmm,
Isn't dissipating like kind of the worst stage of it?
that's where everything's kind of just dumping out,
Guys, the mature.
but mature is gonna be where you see like the rain start and see the lightning. I'll say mature is the worst. All right, we will call it for today. I guess we need to review weather since whoever did weather with you guys did not cover some important things. So we will, would have been nice to know that this week when we were doing a review week, but we will now have to play a little catch up.
I think we did everything, mostly everything.
Just
not
gotta
bad.
go to stand.
Well, it's a pretty like introductory concept.
I think it's because it wasn't in the slides.
Okay,
So like they probably just, whoever did it, I think it was Ali and Kaz, like they just went through the slides. Yeah, but they covered everything in the slides and it was not good.
okay, well, I want you guys to review weather over the weekend. It's a very big topic. And we will go over it next week a little bit too.
It's all that, it's not gonna be like this.
Probably not your free solo as much, but getting to like cross country phase check, that'll be a big one because weather's a important factor of planning cross country.
So the ones that just asked, yeah, fair those more of the result.
I would say like the aerodynamic stuff, emergency situations, like the basic, you know, like,
They're going to like all the aero aviators.
Yeah.
Things.
Yeah.
So that's what I studied.
that's good.
Things you asked me today.
So I want you guys to
Excuses.
So yes, the standards for a pre-solo phase check are a lot lower than the standards of a check ride or final phase check. But you shouldn't be just meeting the standards of each phase check. You should be working ahead and show up to each phase check and check ride knowing more than what you need to. You don't want to have to be playing catch up. You want to try to be ahead. So I know it's kind of hard, like you ask the question, oh, what do I study? Well, everything. There's a lot in aviation and it's going to continue to branch out and expand into even more detailed information. Just try to stay ahead and be as knowledgeable as you can. So cool.
Thanks for the class today.
Good job on the quiz earlier.